What's up, everyone? Joe with ECRM here with Emily Page, the CPG growth strategist from Start to Sold. Well, today we're going to talk about supply chain risk management, or as I like to put it, you got to have a backup. So, Emily, thanks for joining us and thanks for agreeing to speak in July. So, why is it important to have a backup?
Well, it's important to have a backup because it's risk management. I think we've all discovered through the tariff situation where suddenly some type of political change impacts our cost of goods when we're importing things like packaging, raw ingredients, and that throws off all of your margins, as well as some of the issues with things being rushed through ports. So the time it takes to produce and manufacture something can be impacted. And those are just examples we have today. There are lots of other things that could go wrong. There could be wars, there can be just your products can actually get lost, or there can be maybe a shortage. So some of my clients recently who are in the chocolate category, there was a huge negative thing that happened to the crops of chocolate. So the futures of chocolate have suddenly become really, really expensive. And so chocolate suppliers couldn't even afford to successfully make their products. So these types of things put you into trouble because of the time it takes to manufacture, the costs, and you don't want to be without product on shelf. So if you have a Walmart contract or a purchase order and you don't deliver, I'm sorry, you could sometimes jeopardize the entire lifetime relationship with that vendor because you just didn't supply, or because you're forcing your prices to suddenly go back up. You just lose the client. So we have to be worried about the risk in our manufacturing and supply chain, or we can lose everything.
And you brought up a good point. I mean, a lot of times these situations are out of your control, whether it's political, or we all experience the supply chain bottlenecks that happen after the pandemic, or the ports. So let's say the ports the workers go on strikes. So you never know. So it's good to have that backup plan. And then what are some of the things that go wrong if you don't have a backup plan? I mean, you did touch on a couple of them. Out of stocks and having to raise prices. What are some of the other things that might happen?
Well, so other examples have to do with things like packaging. So sometimes it's just a single piece part. So when we manufacture something just like this water bottle, it actually has lots of different parts. This plastic is clearly different than this plastic, the label, even the ink that is used to print this. And so for that reason, you want to be able to have lots of different people that you can call, lots of different locations, lots of different suppliers, sometimes in different countries. Sometimes you just want to make sure you know different prices. You should know the different pricing that it would cost to manufacture that product with different suppliers. So across the board, whether it's across countries or within the same country, across the different categories, you need to have a diversity of suppliers to keep your company safe.
And I think it's important to note, you want to have these backups before stuff goes wrong. Right? You don't want to start looking and scrambling when everybody else is. You want to be prepared. A good example is, like Emily mentioned, the tariffs. When I went to our session in April, nobody there was worried about the tariff situation because they had already had factories in Turkey and South America locked in before the end of last year.
Right.
So they knew that tariffs might happen, and when it did, boom, they were able to switch.
Right.
It's not as much of an issue anymore as it was back then. Obviously, it's still going there's still going to be an impact. But when everybody was scrambling, these people weren't worried because they were already locked into their new plants. And then other cases of, like you said, parts. They may have gotten a part from another manufacturer, another country, and then the base was from another place. So you don't know what's going to happen.
Well, and Joe, those are the exceptions, because usually the larger a company, the more professional they treat their systems. They have those things in place. So these larger companies are able to handle these dramatic changes, but it's a lesson for all of us who are in the emerging brand and the middle of the road size company and brand, because we don't necessarily have the resources to easily source new factories. It's really difficult. It's challenging to price out something when you're not 100% sure you're even going to go and work with them, because it requires developing relationships. And so I think it's a lesson that the big guys don't suffer with these kinds of risks that happen because they have already created a plan. They have the capacity to make changes. So how can we need to be able to think like them in order to be able to survive these kind of challenges that we face in business.
Gotcha. So how do you go about finding these other factories, and how many backups do you need? Just 1, 2, 3? A backup for the backup?
You should have a backup for the backup. So the first thing you should look at, because we all have limited time, is look at all of the things within your product life cycle. So from the very beginning all the way to the very finished product, and you can do a risk assessment. So my number one recommendation is get your team in a room with a whiteboard and look at all the different piece parts that are essential and highlight the ones that are the largest risk. So Pareto's principle says that 20% of your products are going to create 80% of your profit. 20% of the products, piece parts within your manufacturing, are going to create 80% of the risk. And so that means you only need to focus on the most important high risk elements to be able to help protect yourself. And that's the first step, is minimize. Look at what really is the highest risk element within your supply chain and source to solve for those things.
Well, and also, in a lot of cases, it's not just the product and the product packaging, but the shippers, the merchandisers, anything else, wrappers, anything that's associated with getting that product onto.
It can literally be parts of the factory machinery. Sometimes that's something, there's maybe an element that actually is not in the finished product, but that's essential for the manufacturing of the use of the machinery. So these types of things, one individual cannot figure it all out. You should get your entire team in a room and do risk management. And I would recommend doing it at least once a year. So after you've identified the high risk elements within your supply chain, next we need to do sourcing. So the question of how to source, obviously everyone has Google. So you can type in things like, cocoa supplier, and that's probably the worst way to go about it, but everyone can do it. The more effective way is to actually go to where those suppliers could easily be found. And so the best thing to do is to go to a trade show or a trade organization where all the people who do those things are already hanging out and putting out a shingle to make themselves found. And that's one of the ways that ECRM and RangeMe can be an asset, is that they actually have, little known fact, contract manufacturing events. Now I find these things cool because I love manufacturing and I'm a big nerd for products, but actually suppliers who do contract manufacturing, whether it's supplying packaging, raw ingredients, chemicals, importing products like raw materials for the food and beverage industry, they actually come here to offer to be your contract manufacturer or your supplier for packaging or ingredients. And what's really cool about ECRM in general is that they're so friendly. So you can literally just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm looking for this. Do you have suppliers attending this upcoming event that would meet my needs? And they're gonna tell you. And the moment you tell them what you're looking for, they can sometimes even help you to recruit those people to attend, so you get lots of different options to the event that you choose to attend.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the plug.